Every so often, we meet people we truly admire. And in this program, you would love to spare more than enough minutes with us. Trust me on this, it's definitely worth the time. It's the JONALYN'S Show, an interview with high-flyer people, and presented by Never Give Up Foundation. Aired on PinoyRadio.com and MCBN.TV. Because it's JONALYN'S. With JONALYN, we'll give you the utmost justification to tune in, to click the link, to spend the weekend with us. Eastern Time at 2 p.m. every other Saturday, as she talks to distinguished men and women at their own turf. All respectable citizens in the community and in the country. Now, it's the moment, it's time, because it's JONALYN'S Show.
Good afternoon, Canada and North America. Good morning, Asia. Good evening, Europe, and hello, world. Again, you're here listening and watching to It's JONALYN'S Show. So, how's everyone doing? Again, I'm so excited because just like last Saturday, we have an amazing guest that I will introduce shortly. But for now, I also have a wonderful co-host all the way from Edmonton, a dear friend of mine, my baby. And yeah, she is a mom of this really cute girl that I love the most, a wife and a real successful trader already for just doing it for less than a year. She used to be in a financial business, build a strong team, making six-figure income. However, she'll tell you a little bit more about herself, how she transitioned herself onto a new career. So let me just welcome my co-host for today, Ash Tumlao.
Hello everybody. Hi, Ate JONALYN. Thank you so much for having me here. I am so honored for you to have me here. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you, Ash. I am doing wonderful as well. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm so excited. I'm still like, what's the word that Mike used last week? Is starstruck.
Yeah.
You know, we have the two most favorite people and coach and mentor today with us. And you know, they're really busy. I don't think they even sleep because you know they continue teaching a lot of thousands of people around the world. So let me introduce our first guest. She's actually the only woman I don't get jealous about. Like my partner really liked her, and he stayed up 2 a.m. every single time that she's doing her training. You know, like, and she wouldn't sleep after that. So that charisma, I really don't know what she has. She is a wonderful woman, really lovely. You know, I just talked to her on Instagram, and like she's just so down to earth. She's in the business just less than 3 years, I think. So many things that I can tell about her. She's also an amazing mom with this cute little girl. Hopefully, I can meet her too. And she teach, she mentor, and I have so much I can tell about her, but you know, this show is gonna tell us everything. So later on, we're just gonna ask her all these questions, and she'll introduce herself to us. So without further ado, let me welcome our first guest, Alys Amores. Hi, Alys, how are you?
Hi, how are y'all? Thank you for having me today. I appreciate your time, and thank you for staying up with me at 2 a.m. The way I do it, I stay up.
We always do.
I go to sleep before 2, so I just stay up and then I study beforehand or look at charts, and then I get on it too. I think that's
amazing.
All right, for our second guest, I'm so excited to introduce him. If you have been rocking with our next guest, you'll know he doesn't shy away from trading exciting indices during a London session. On every live session, he makes everybody feel comfortable to learn more about Forex and the fun life of a trader after stepping into his journey only 3 years ago. Some call him the whisperer of US 30 and German 30, which I can personally attest. So catching thousands of pips per week. Everybody, please welcome to the show, six-figure trader, Coach Dominic Fontenot, aka Domo 30.
Welcome.
Hello, how you guys doing? Thank you guys for having me. It's such a pleasure.
The pleasure.
Isn't he a shy?
Yeah.
Well, again, guys, thank you so much. Like, I know how, you can spend your Saturday on something else, but here you are with us today. So we really, really appreciate you. And I just can't wait to learn about your story, your strategy, and everything else that we're not learning from those 2 a.m. calls that you're having. So, Ash, would you mind asking our special guest today for our first and always the most important question?
Oh yeah, yes, guys, thank you for being here with us today. So for our first question, Alys and Domo, who are you before becoming a successful trader and trainer? And what is the story behind it?
Right, so I'll go ahead and go first. So I started trading later in my life, which I always think it's beautiful to see people take on trading at different times in their life. I've been doing it for 3 years now, so I didn't start until I was 30 years old. I was in the hospitality industry. I've always loved food and cooking and whatnot, and I did front of house, back of house, a little bit of everything. Don't get me wrong, it's a passion of mine, but when I came across trading, that was my purpose, right? Big difference. So for me, although I still enjoy, like I was good at everything I did, I enjoyed it to an extent, but my quality of life just wasn't there, unfortunately. I think a lot of people understand having a second job to pay for childcare for your first job. It was just kind of one of those things where my quality of life wasn't there. So I wanted to learn what are the wealthy doing, right? So I started to do some research, and I found the main things that the wealthy do is they invest, they trade, and they do real estate. So we started with trading. Lucky for me, I had a friend of mine who had just looked into Forex. So they came and told me about it. And of course, I was like, yep, that's it right there. So for me, I feel like I just had to see that it was a possibility, right? And once I saw all the possibilities, I was hooked ever since. So yeah, I just, was doing your average thing, average life. But to me, it's just, I wanted more. So I attracted something in my life that changed my situation. And now it's completely changed my life. And I have bigger plans still to go away from here. So I'm very excited I came across Forex and took the opportunity to dive into it for sure.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Elise. Like, I was looking at your Instagram and I've been seeing, like this girl like so pretty and like she has so much of like a social life. And I wouldn't thought actually that you're going to be doing like trading because I thought like when you talk about trading, it's so like kind of nerdy and it's like but then I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing. Like you have it all. So now let's hear from Domo.
And I can totally relate to Elise since she's a mom too.
Yeah, definitely. And let's hear from Domo.
All right. So, kind of, I didn't even know some of the stuff that I knew about Elise now. I was actually in the hospitality industry too. I was a general manager of a hotel. Right before I started, I've been doing this for about 3 years. So I'm 25 now. So I started when I was about 22. And kind of the thing that got me into it is, being a general manager, I love talking to people. I love, meeting new people on a daily basis. But the number one thing in my life was my family. And because I love that so much, it took me away from my family. And at the time, I had my son, and my wife was pregnant when I first found it. And I knew that I just said it today. I knew that it was something I wanted to do, and I really, really didn't take it serious for like months after until I said to myself, this is what I need, right? So that was what was big for me, was making this an opportunity that I needed, and it truly, truly changed my life. Because like I said, I was working hospitality probably 6 years. 6 years working hospitality. I mean, I loved it. Like I said, and like Elise said, don't get me wrong. It was an amazing. I learned a lot. I actually worked for Domino's too, so I could pretty much make a whole pizza by myself. Thank you, Domino's. So yes, I'm just a regular person that decided to do what it needed to do to take care of my family and spend more time with my family on a daily basis.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Like, I mean, I'm gonna send you my address for that pizza.
Yeah, me too. Although
I
I
can't wait for that
I
pizza.
want to try yours.
Well, I think that would be a good snack for the 2 a.m. Training, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You
Some
may be
morning
going
food.
to trip too.
So yeah. Wow, that's an amazing story. Like you, so you two
Really
didn't know that
exciting.
you guys actually came from the same industry.
We do now.
So this
Now
like
we're
this
gonna have a
in
cook-off and a trade-off.
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Because that's not something that you tell people when you're doing the training, right? So that's why I really love this interview. But this is what I like about this show because we got to know the people that's helping people to change lives. You know,
Mhm.
now they will be able to see who you guys really are. And I know you already tell us the story on how who are you before the training. However, I wanted to also ask like what made you guys to decide trading? What is like your why? What inspired you to do so? I know you kind of mentioned it earlier, but let's just elaborate one important thing that made you to decide to do it.
Right. So a big part of it for me was like the independence of it, right? So I'm able to, I think success is different for everybody, right? For me, a lot of success was living on my own terms, right? Living like on my own means. Like to this day, when I take a withdrawal, it's not just about obviously the money part is great, but the fact that it's like, man, I just paid myself. Like that will never get old for me. But I just wanted to be able to have more control in my life and not feel like I was reporting to someone else and have it where I had the freedom. But also, it was the challenge for me too. I've always liked to grow. I always read a lot and study things. And so for me, it was also the challenge and the growth factor of it as well, to be able to learn a new skill set. And it's just something that I fell in love with. It's like, ooh, there's always more to learn, even when you think you know this, that, and the other, then you find something else, and it's just like, man, this is just so exciting. And by default, you get to learn about like other countries and things, and you're studying stuff, and you just learn so much in the process. So for me, it was like the freedom, the independence, but also just the growth and learning. All of that together is just a win-win for me. Everything.
Right.
Amazing. And Domo.
So for me, back to what I was saying earlier, definitely the time freedom. That was something super huge for me. Me having young kids, like I said, my son was probably 3 at the time. My daughter was soon coming to the world, so and I didn't do a lot with my son because I worked so much. So time frame was the biggest thing for me. The second biggest thing after that was just I saw the bigger vision, which is kind of what I preach a lot, was the impact that we'd be able to do to show people. So as I learn this, man, I'm trying to bring people in. I'm trying to show people this way to get to the time freedom that I was getting to. So those are the two biggest things for me. Like I said, being able to spend more time with my family, and then being able to impact people by showing them a different way, not the way we've all been taught. Go to work, get a good job, go to school, all of that. So this is something just outside the box that I really, 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 really enjoyed. So.
Amazing. Like that we always had like a lot of personality development course and stuff. Your why, it's really what's gonna get you there. How strong your why is. Having freedom is like the best thing ever. Because like time freedom, financial freedom, all kinds of freedom that we can get on just doing something, and also the fact that as you guys mentioned, teaching a lot of people, right? Ash was just telling you earlier, Domo, that one of her team
Yeah.
just
One of my
you know
friends.
was able to get that success just from listening to you. And at least my partners, he actually got a breakthrough on the second time that he listened to you, and as well as you, Domo. I think like the smart money thing, and he got really excited about that. So that's amazing, you guys. There's so much that we still wanted to hear and learn from you, but we're just gonna go for a short break.
While we live in uncertain times, one thing has never been more clear: the need to be financially independent. If you want more out of life, let us show you how to get it. People of all ages are now learning what the banks and other institutions have known for years: how to make money trading in the financial markets. There's over $6 trillion traded each day. Let us show you how to get your piece of that. Epic ushers in a new era of financial education, combined with an unprecedented compensation plan to help you and your family live the life you've always dreamed of. It's time to take your seat at the table. You and your family deserve it. Don't be average. Be epic.
Here at Action Honda, meet the versatile CRV, the well-equipped Accord, the refreshed Civic. Usap tayo kabayan, dahil kay Paeng Nebres, handa kayong pakinggan. Pasyal ka lamang sa aming tanggapan, 43 Kingston Road at Lawrence Avenue East. Look for Paeng Nebres, 416-281-1234. As always, zero down payment, zero security deposit, or 90 days, no payment. Action never stops at Honda. Action Honda. From the eye clinic that introduces unique, funky, and fashionable eyewear, 7 taon na ang nakakaraan, continues to deliver. Sunny Optical is the one. Patuloy at tuloy-tuloy ang alagang makabayan, serbisyong Canadian. If you're looking for the distinctive, innovative, and coveted frames and sunglasses, Sunny Optical now serves our patrons much better. At dahil may Pinoy optometrist, alam namin ang pangangailangan nyo. 2 locations, 1 vision. In Ontario, we are located at the Markham Place, 3244 Highway 7 East, Unit 166. In Thornhill, we are at 1 Promenade Circle, Y007. Kita-kita na lang kabayan at Sunny Optical. Talk that matters on PinoyRadio.com and MCBN.TV. It's JONALYN'S Show.
Welcome back to It's JONALYN'S Show. So I totally agree with Ate JONALYN when she said the bigger your why is, the deeper your why is, the more successful you will become. And I forgot to mention earlier about Domo here. He is a father of 3 and soon to be father of 4. So congratulations for that, Domo.
Thank you.
Right. So for our next question here, what are the changes, into your lives in terms of lifestyle when you started trading? Or when you started to become more successful in trading?
Right. So for me, when it comes to lifestyle, I actually keep it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have traveled more. I make a point to, enjoy some of my profits, but my goals are still so much bigger than where I'm at now. I've had a goal since I started 3 years ago to retire my parents by December of 2021. So to me, it's like I can't really take out my withdrawals and just spend it on myself till I meet that goal for myself. So, I have to continue to compound my accounts and do that. I also want to start a family trust and create generational wealth and be able to pass that on. So to me, my vision is really the bigger picture. So, don't get me wrong. One day, I have my dream cars on my list. Trust me, they're there. For me, it's probably traveling. I think everybody's, thing is different. For me, I definitely want to travel. I would love to take my daughter with me. She's 4 right now, but I'm working on getting her passport so she can, learn from the world in 2 ways, not just from school, but also from experience and travel as well. And so those are things that I'm really excited about. So I keep that vision, instilled, and I just continue to stack and compound. Because that's the beauty of this market, right? Is that you can take trades and you can compound to where your goals are. And, so for me, I keep it simple. I'm very Warren Buffett with it. So, but trust me, one day I'll get that nice Audi R8 that I've been looking at for a while.
Audi R8.
But that's in time, right? Because the same way you learn discipline in trading, you have to have that with your money, right? So one way, like, you have to get the money, but the second thing is you have to maintain it, protect it, right? So I try to practice the same discipline in that as I do in my trading. So if you're always, taking out your full thing and starting over again, it's like you're actually hurting your progress. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue to compound, stay humble a little myself, and just keep steering forward until I get to those goals.
That's truly inspiring.
Thank you.
How about Domo?
So for me, pretty much the same thing. I'm finding out me and Alys are kind of alike. So for me, the same thing. We did. It was an amazing thing for me to be able to have my kids experience more than I've even experienced, and I'm a military brat, so myself. So I've been a few places, but to be able to take my kids to more places than I've been, being a military brat, was really, really, really one of the big things for me. So that's pretty much all we've done. I'm not the big, flashy person that's got to go get, a Rolex or anything or nothing like that. I'm somebody who wants to, like, my car is paid off, stuff like that. I care more about, that stuff than really trying to, I guess, like, flaunt my profits or anything. That's totally on me. So not much has changed. Just like Alys, I do have those dream cars on that list. I do have bigger things that I want to do, but I asked myself at just at the event we had today. I said, my wife asked me a few days ago, and she said, "Hey, do you want to go to Roof Chris?" And I was like, do I want to go to Roof Chris? Do we deserve to go to Roof Chris? Have I impacted enough lives to go to Roof Chris? And I was like, nope. So we didn't go. So that's just kind of where, like Alys said, the vision is much bigger than me, driving around in a Lamborghini, stuff like that. So that's me.
Wow. That is truly inspiring. That is truly inspiring, Domo and Alys being, having the same goals. Maybe smart money traders have that in common, huh?
It's that way.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, my mic was muted earlier. So yeah, that is amazing, Alys and Domo. A lot of people like a lot of people like wanted those flashy things and like buying all this and that. I mean, a little bit of like Louis Vuitton bag and red bottom shoes is okay here and there, but definitely preparing for your future, especially when you have kids already and you have like what Alice was saying earlier, like giving a good lifestyle and retirement for her parents. That's really amazing. Family is really a number one thing, and I believe that the more we take care of people that we love, the more of we watch the people that we care, is the more blessing that we get. And there's a lot of people that can flash a lot of things, but is that Gucci bag really have enough cash on it? Like you see a lot of that, so that is really amazing. Like really inspiring as well. So to all our viewers and listeners, you can't really judge people on how they look. Like look at Facebook Mark, right? He wear the same shirt every single time, and how much money does he have? So those are like that is really really awesome because the discipline is there. So and the compounding is I really like the most as well. And you know what? The best thing I like about also this company that you guys we are representing is the passive income, right? That freedom of not worrying about any bills or anything anymore. So that is amazing. And talking about Epic that just launched this September. So Alys and Domo, I know that you guys are not only doing that, you're also teaching and coaching and mentoring a lot of people, including myself and Ash here, and mostly of our viewers today. So I just wanted to know, like, you guys are so good already. You can just make a lot of money by just doing all the trading and focusing on it. But you know what? Instead, you're sharing us your knowledge, you're sharing us your experience, and you're helping a lot of people to be successful as well in the same industry. So my question really is, what make you decide to start teaching, start coaching, and start mentoring? Did you also have someone that help you along the way before you get to where you at right now? And how is it important that getting a proper education, like paying to learn, like going to a real university? Because some people might say, let's just YouTube it. A lot of people are teaching stuff in YouTube and it's for free. So what are the differences?
Right. That's a full question, and it's such a good one. So I'm actually very happy you asked this. So let me take it into parts. So first thing first, I think it's extremely important to invest in yourself. There's many ways to do it. Some people do choose college, and I do advocate it if you're going to use it. For me, I wasn't going to use what I was there for, but of course now if I went back for finance, it would be something that would interest me. But I'm really big on advocating people investing in themselves because that's the best investment you're going to make, right? Your return to ROI is 100%. So I took very seriously about really getting the education and having strong traders around me, mentors and whatnot, because the thing is that the learning curve is going to be there regardless, yes, but the way to decrease that is to have a mentor, someone who already knows what they're doing, someone who's already been where you're trying to go, right? So if you're not able to find one, maybe be around other strong traders or all learning together. But yeah, I do think it's very important to have a strong circle or some type of mentorship around you. Yes, you can learn on YouTube for free, but understand there's a lot of material. This is the way that I describe it, right? When people ask me this exact question, actually. So if you had to build a car, right, and you had all the pieces there, but you had different choices. One was just like all the pieces were there and you just put two pieces together till you figured it out. Yeah, you might be able to figure it out and it might take a few months to a year. You have to put all the wrong pieces together before you figure out what's right and you have to do it over and over again. But then if you just had either an instruction manual or someone who's already built one before telling you how to build it, how much shorter period of time would that take to do, right? So both of them are technically giving the same result, but obviously one is very different than the other. So it's not that there's not some good information for free on YouTube or here and there. But the thing is that once again, it's just the amount of time is going to be astronomical. And even when you're learning with a mentor, you still have to put the pieces together and figure it out. But obviously direction is very important. I'm a very big advocate of learning from someone who's been where you want to be. It's just, there's so much value in that, right? That it's important to have that. So that's one of the reasons also why I wanted to also be able to do it, is that I found sometimes that there's good traders out there that don't teach so well, and I felt there was a need for it, to be honest. And I just by default, people would just come to me and ask me all the time, help. You know what you're doing, please help me. So in time I ended up just doing it naturally, and people started coming to me more and more. And I tried my best to take concepts that were really intricate and break it down really simple. And so I just had constant feedback of like, seeing it, this made no sense to me. And then now you made it so clear. Like, I wish I would have asked you from the beginning and saved all this time. So it's just something that I appreciate because, and I understand too, right? I've been a student. I've been at places where I'm like, wow, I did not get any of the value that I wanted here. So, and then times where I've been like, I got more value than I wanted. So I'm big on like under promising and over delivering. But the need was there, and I'm happy to be able to help people make sense of it. Like, there's nothing more gratifying as someone who's teaching people to trade, to see them take what you've taught them and show it to you, and you're like, oh, you got it. Like, I swear I care more for my students to have success than I do for myself. I love to see it.
Amazing. That's a really clear and really great answer. So in everything we do, we really do need a mentor. I remember I have those days that I had to pay 1,500 for 1 hour mentorship. And you know what? That's the best money spent ever. Because yeah. And here in Epic, we don't really just we don't like we don't pay that much amount of money, and they always said it takes money to make money, and you even put some loans, like if you're in Canada, you get OSAP. That's what we call OSAP. You became a nurse, but you have like six figure what loan. Here it's $99, and I know Domo has
Yeah.
a lot more to say about that question.
Yeah, definitely. So, what drew me to teaching was definitely the having that impact over people. Just like Elise said, being able to see people win off of what you taught them is amazing. It's such an amazing feeling, like changing somebody's lifestyle or changing somebody's way that they look, or somebody's situation is super huge for me. So me being able to do that for a lot of people is definitely what drew me to wanting to teach and coach a lot more. I will definitely say it is definitely, I did have a mentor when I first started. I wouldn't say he was a personal mentor. He was definitely a mentor to a lot of students. But I definitely followed him. And it's definitely good to have one because I jumped from mentor to mentor, and I found myself not ever progressing, but falling backwards because I was jumping too much, and because I didn't relate with these people. So once I found a mentor that I could actually relate with, that's what changed the game for me a lot because a lot of people look up like to like superstars. Like when people go and see like someone on TV, they're like, oh man, I want them to be my mentor, but I know that I can't because they do this over here. So for me, that's kind of how I thought about it at first. Until one day I reached out to the person. I was like, man, I really need to learn from you. And they're like, why didn't you ask me sooner? I was like, well, I thought you were just this famous trader that couldn't help anybody. And then, once I got to learn who he was, not only was he an amazing person, but like I related to him so much. My mentor was actually somebody like we both played football. He went to college for football and stuff like that. And, I love football. And I wanted to make a difference. He grew up in the projects in New York. I grew up in, not so great neighborhood where I am now. So we had a lot to relate with. So it just made it almost easier. It's like that. It's like that situation. Like your parents tell you something, and it's like okay, and then someone else tells you it, and you're like, oh man, I get it. So that was kind of that situation for me too. So.
Very, very inspiring answers. I personally, I really truly believe that, it takes money to make money and investing in yourself all the time, right? To improve. So back before I found Epic, before probably that was 2018 or 2019, I was actually gonna pay someone to mentor me. That was like 22,000 US, everything about Forex. But when I found Epic and our previous company, I was like mind blown. It's only for $99 and everything is so organized. Everything, there's trade alerts that it's as a guide, and of course obviously people trading 3-4 times a day, live trading with you, 6-figure traders. So where can you see that value, right? So actually, my question, you guys are parents, right? You guys are parents. I'm just wondering, like, someone just asked me this to ask you, and how do you guys balance your becoming a successful trader and as well a great parent and
Right,
partner?
that's a good question. When I was learning, Ava was actually a newborn, right? So for my daughter's 4 when I started 3 years, well, a little over 3 years ago. So yeah, I had a newborn. So, but it was important enough to me that I decided, even if it was only an hour a day, that it was quality time for that hour. So right when I would put her to bed, that first hour, I would go in there and study. Like I knew the importance of it. Now it's one of those things where she's been lucky enough to always have me home, right? That's what I was looking for. But then at the same time, yes, I have to trade sometimes. So she understands, like this is mommy's trading time. But the beauty of it too is that the better you get at it, like the less time you really need. In the beginning, I needed all that time, but now I really sometimes I only need like an hour in the market, an hour, hour and a half. If I really want to, since I do like combination style trading, I can do like day trading swings or all pinning orders and not even have to be on my phone at all. That's the beauty of like, down the line, it gets something that's really simple and consistent to the point where I really could, like, if I wanted to, I could take on a job right now. There's no need to, but my point is like I could set my schedule, and that's the beauty also of the Forex market specifically, right? 24 hours, 5 days a week. So if you wanted to have it where you have that quiet time with your kids and you spend an hour or two in London or whichever time zone works for you, you can do that as well. It's just a matter of time management. That's really all it is.
That's amazing. Yeah. Time management, as you mentioned, is actually really good. You see, I still I don't have a baby yet here, and I still have I still work full time because I really like the work that I'm doing right now. It's also helping people, and then I'm doing this show right now, and after the show I'm gonna have to run because I also run a Never Give Up Foundation. It's a foundation, and right after this we're going downtown to see a lot of homeless people and give them a lot of toiletries. So and sometimes people tend to ask me like, how do you do what you do, because you have so much things that I guess I will feel it more when I have a baby. But it's amazing. Time management is really important. Ash herself also have a baby. I can see her like training, and she's like calling her right there. So I always like I felt like I know Scarlett so much because I always see her in all the training that Ash is sending us. And also yeah, I think also having a kid is a really great inspiration. Yeah, and us having to, we can do trading like at home. You can still watch them, right? It's not like we have to bring them to babysitter. This is actually perfect because you can have time with them and then at the same time do the things that you love. So it's like having two things that you love the most at the same time, right? So now let's hear from Domo.
So for me, again, I know me and Alys have a lot of the same things, but the same thing for me, man. It's definitely not as time consuming as a lot of people think. Definitely in the beginning when you're learning. For me, I wanted to put that much time into it. But I made sure to have some type of work-life balance. I'm so grateful that my wife has been a stay-at-home mom since we started dating to help me with that. But for people that don't have that luxury, it doesn't at all take nearly as much time. Like I can set pending orders, I can set alerts on my phone. It might take me 10-15 minutes to come and mark up a move, and then once it crosses a certain threshold, that's when I'll go and pay attention to the charts. So my time is not really consumed as people might think on the charts all day. And I make it known that I don't spend all day on the charts. I don't spend nearly as much time as people think, because it's not, once you've learned it, it's not really necessary. The money's not going anywhere. There's people who, scalp and whatnot. Me, I'm not the biggest fan of scalping because I feel like it's very time consuming, depending on, your level of expertise in it. Me personally, I'm not that great at it. I'd rather do what I do in intraday and swing, if not. So for me, definitely, it's definitely not time consuming at all. It's definitely not something that I'm spending all day, because once you get to that level of expertise where you already know where you're looking for those entries, where you're looking for those moves to happen. Now you just wait for it.
Amazing. So yeah, actually we have more juicy information and words that we're gonna be hearing from Alys and Domo. But let's just have another short break.
While we live in uncertain times, one thing has never been more clear: the need to be financially independent. If you want more out of life, let us show you how to get it. People of all ages are now learning what the banks and other institutions have known for years: how to make money trading in the financial markets. There's over $6 trillion traded each day. Let us show you how to get your piece of that. Epic ushers in a new era of financial education, combined with an unprecedented compensation plan to help you and your family live the life you've always dreamed of. It's time to take your seat at the table. You and your family deserve it. Don't be average. Be epic.
Your very own frontier. Introducing Canyon Hotels and Resorts, Palawan. Developer of Canyon Estates. A 128-room, mixed-use beachfront hotel facility in the center of one of the best islands in the world, Palawan. Equipped with full range of amenities, the best ocean view, and access to multiple tourist destinations. Canyon Hotels and Resorts, Palawan. It is a worry-free investment with no maintenance responsibilities, no monthly condominium dues, guaranteed rental income, no real estate tax payments, fully furnished hotel units, and guaranteed CCT condominium certificate title. Visit Expanse Realty Canada office at 7894 Dufferin Street, Vaughan, Ontario, or call at 905-781-6165. Our email mcbn@gmail.com. 4 radio stations in one great app. MCBN Media Group app is a must-have app for all global Pinoys who love music. Free to download. Pinoy Radio, today's best Filipino music, plays the latest pop music with a mix of good old throwback OPM hits. Crossway, the right hit music mix. America's Top 40 CHR Internet Radio slides back from the 90s and 2000s playlist, and today, Jeepney Pinoy Radio. Tara, sakay na! Let's rock and roll! The alternative way to listen mainstream and Pinoy indie music, OPM rock, and rap. Handpicked into one great playlist with live and acoustic versions. Plus, featured Tunog Kalye faves. MCBN Radio, 24/7 of the most listened American and British throwback hits from the 70s and 80s. With live broadcast feature and serving as the voice of the community. MCBN TV, live TV programs and mainstream blogs from great entertainment personalities and social media influencers. Download now. The weekend that worth the wait. It's JONALYN'S Show on PinoyRadio.com and MCBN.TV.
Okay, welcome back to It's JONALYN'S Show. You know, I can personally attest to that being a parent myself. You know, at the beginning, it's just kind of like hard to juggle everything. But then as you become a master of your craft, as you become, you know, as you grow into trading, then the lesser time you will spend to it. So Ate Jonalyn, do you have another question for them?
Yes, definitely. So I just want to add to it, with the people, I know we have a lot of viewers, and this interview will be recorded and will be shared to people that wanted to do this. Yes, it is not that time consuming, but if you really want to master a craft, then there's some sacrifices to be made. There's some sleepless nights to be made. And if you wanted to learn from these two amazing trader and coach, then you definitely have to stay awake at 2 a.m. And anyway, so our question is, so Domo and Alys, what are the stages of like learning how to trade? I mean, with that question, I mean, how do you prepare emotionally, mentally, and even physically? Is it hard to start? Is it complicated to master? Can it be frustrating sometimes? And how about you guys? Did you ever get to the point of, giving up before you became to where you at now, or feel like quitting? And yeah, how long does it take you to master it?
Right. So that question, the answer is different for everybody, right? It depends on the time invested. It depends on your learning style, your learning curve, all of that. Although we did just talk about time management and having it work out, I will say in the beginning, I'm never scared of saying that I was obsessed. Okay. So although I had that first hour, my point is like when it came to back testing and whatever I learned, like applying it and doing it hundreds of times, right? So I want to see, because the thing is that you have to create your own trading rules and whatnot. So the best way to do that is learn something and do it multiple times so you can create your rules. Like, okay, so consistently this happens, whenever this happens, you kind of eventually are able to come up with your own strategy based off the observations you make. For me, have I ever considered quitting? Not once. I've had times of frustration, yes, very much so. But have I had times of I've ever considered quitting? No. To me, this is like the golden key. So I've never been frustrated to the point that I would quit something that could completely change my life, because that would basically be me quitting on myself. I've always looked at it as like, you have the power to, because it's like a double-edged sword. I'll put it this way. It's on you. It's a good thing and a bad thing, right? So if you're not able to bet on yourself, then it's not a good thing, because you're going to have a hard time with this. It's all on your shoulders, but it's also the power comes from that as well. So to me, I looked at it that way. The power in this is that it's up to me. So they always say, if it's meant to be, it's up to me, right? So, so yeah, even with frustration, I would most maybe take a break for a day or two, because mentally you have to be in a good space. But I've never considered quitting. Whenever I'm frustrated, I just add some perspective, right? So that's why it's good to have that circle, right, of other people that are trading with you. Maybe ask for a little bit of advice, or maybe just deal with yourself, because I've always said this about the market, that the difference between people advancing, like from getting to a beginner to a more professional level, is you actually have to master yourself, right? The market teaches you who you are. You can tell yourself that you're patient all day. The market, if you're not patient, the market's going to tell you, nah, you're not patient. I need you to be more disciplined. So it's up to you, right, to take control of yourself. Because it's interesting, right? When I take on students who maybe been trading for a long period of time, almost anybody you ask them what they struggle with, they can tell you right away. So then I tell them this, okay, so how many times are you going to lose from the same thing before you decide to change it, right? It's up to you, right? How many times you're going to go to that same wall before you decide to go around it. You can do it one time, or you can do it 100 times. That's your choice. So for me, I just tried to decrease those learning curves, right? And simply, have those lessons and simply say, all right, so you are holding on to these losses too long. Why are you doing that? And really just ask yourself why. Okay, well, I'm trying to feed my ego. I'm trying to be right when I just need to close the trade and just do better, right? And sometimes your analysis is right, but your entry is so bad. So the lesson there was to get a better entry, not to try to feed your ego and later be like, well, I was right, but you blew half your account. Where's the success there, right? So it's a matter of mastering yourself. And no, I don't advise anybody quit. This is the key to the Lambo, okay? So figure it out.
That's amazing. And let's hear from Domo.
So for me, the stages are, pretty much for me, it was setting a foundation. That was definitely something big for me. But once you set that foundation, because I think where a lot of beginner traders, they mess up, and even I did this myself, is, they start to learn a foundation, but then they jump to another strategy because they feel like, oh, this one looks like it works better, or this one looks like it works better. So then you find yourself jumping to strategies all over the place for no reason. Whereas if you set that foundation, you have something to build off of. And it's something I preach a lot, because, setting that foundation, even if you were to say you were winning 30% of your trades, right, from the foundation you've already set, what you want to do is increase that percentage of winning, not change it to a whole new strategy that you have to learn. So a lot of people miss that part a lot. Because even for me, the biggest thing that I taught myself first or learned was technical analysis. It's the foundation of where I learned everything, and where I use today. Besides smart money, it's what I use for my confluences and everything. So I see that as being pretty big. How long did it take me to master it? How I like to answer that question is, don't worry so much about how long it took me, Alys, or anybody else to master it. It's based on your time. It's really, truly, the biggest thing that I like to say, this is, a lot of people like to say it's a race or it's a marathon. It's not, because I didn't start this walk of life the same time you did. You didn't start the same time as Alys. I didn't. A lot of people, miss that so much because they're too busy on focusing on what somebody else did. Right? Take this at your own time. Take this at your own pace, and you'll get there when it's the right time for you to get there. And then another question, did I ever think about quitting? Um, I did. I did think about quitting. I will be honest, I did. Um, but the thing for me that kept me from quitting is because I felt like I put too much into this. I don't know if you guys have heard it's a psychology term that they use for married couples. You have the honeymoon phase, right? You get the honeymoon phase, and then after that, life hits after you guys. Like you guys are drowning in debt or whatever it may be, having a lot of problems, and money being one of the biggest problems that ends people's marriages. But you get to that point, but a lot of people give up as things start to turn around, right? And that's why 97% of people are where they are, and then 3% are living, luxury or doing whatever they want because 97% of people quit right before they're about to see that success, that gain that they've been looking for. So, yes, I did quit, but I saw the gain being more than the loss. So,
Wow, that's amazing. That's truly inspiring, you guys. Even like I'm pretty sure everybody, like every successful traders have their own stories to tell. They have their own turning point. They have but the common denominator is that everyone is patient, right? Everybody, every successful traders are patient, right? So yeah, so with what Elise said earlier, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. So it's all up to us, guys. So for the next question, um, by the way, Elise, we know you don't really spill it a lot to everybody, but just to give our viewers a little bit of teaser out there, can we have a glimpse of what your secret on not losing any trade in 2 years? Like,
I cannot wait.
That could be slightly exaggerated, but for me, I can't say that I was like that in the beginning. But the answer to that is I take high probability trades. Simply said, in time as you build your strategy, you should be bettering it, right? So in the beginning, when my win rate wasn't as good, I was addressing those problems, and as my strategy developed, so did my consistency. So it's really that simple. Create trading rules that make sense, that make you more profitable. And a lot of it too is the psychology for me. Sometimes you got to sit on your hands, not overtrade or maybe like wait for it to be ready. A lot of times when we're losing in the beginning is because we're just eager to get in, and it doesn't matter where we're getting in. Now that's everything for me. Same with like my risk reward, right? My risk reward I think used to be like 1-to-1, 2-to-1. All right, that was when I started even practicing it, right? In the beginning, I'm like, let's just trade. What is risk reward? Who cares about that, right? So as time, you got to practice those things with discipline so that, in the beginning, you just want to be profitable. Then you learn to be consistently profitable. So your strategy has to develop with that. And I just take high probability setups and I stick to my rules. It's really that simple.
wow.
Amazing.
I'm really honored to be mentored by you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing. 2 years, eh? Oh my God. At least you're lucky you're not my neighbor. I'll probably just pop up on your door every time. Don't worry, I'm gonna be bringing some rice,
Bring the food and you can stay.
I mean, like, definitely, that's amazing. Like, it's just mind blowing. Like, it's like I wanted to like master this like right after this call already. That's amazing, and I'm out of words actually. That's really cool. Like just like you too. Like so, I was like debating who's trader first from Epic will I interview today, and then it's like kind of like voting thing. It's like oh you should get Domo and Alys, they're the beast. So I guess there wasn't wrong. It's like really amazing having you guys here. So now for the last this is not a question actually, but can you guys please give us an advice and message for our beginners trader out there, especially to those people that not joining yet but thinking about it but really scared to try because of those topics that maybe time consuming or complicated. And to those who started but quit already, or the one that are considering quitting. Also, please let our viewers and listeners know how. And I mean, we have a crawler down there that's showing your Instagram and Facebook where they can follow you. But if you can just tell us Facebook and Instagram, and also the time of the classes that you teach to Epic, and how can they catch you guys?
Right. So I think I got all that question, but for my Instagram, which is my main page, it's going to be Alys, ALYSE _ the MV for the Modern Victress. And then, okay, the other question about Epic. So we're both super excited about being on Epic. I think the biggest edge that we really offer is the live trading that we're doing and teaching and trading. I don't think you can find that much anywhere the way that we do it, right? We really invest our time to make sure that people are getting it and seeing what we're seeing. And we're very happy to do that and share not only the trading knowledge, but the energy, the good vibes, just all that as well. What else was there? I'm sorry, I missed the part of the question. And then for those who have quit and are, that have doubt in themselves and maybe took a step away, I would really take a second to think about why you did that. There's different reasons why everybody does that. Maybe they felt as though it was taking too long, but the thing with that is what is a few years in relation to working a job for your whole life, 40 to 60 years, right? We go to school for 12 years, depending on whether you're just considering college or your whole education. You have no problem doing that, but spending, 1 or 2 years learning to trade, to me, it's that's nothing. So, and that's why before when we talked about how long it took me to trade, I don't really, I do mention, yes, it took me 3 months. I was able to leave my job 3 years ago. But the thing is my story is not your story. Everybody's story is different, right? And even then, although I was profitable, I wasn't consistent like I am now. So I still had to get better even from that point. So really just take a second with yourself and think what was it that really scared me from this? Was it that I wanted to be a millionaire overnight? Just because, and the Forex market is a place where you can make money quicker than really anywhere. I would like to see anything that have returns that you can in Forex. But the thing is that you have to go in there also being realistic, right? You have to spend the time. Regardless of it being quicker than these other avenues, it still has to be, you still have to learn it. It's still a skill set. So, really just self-evaluate. Why did I quit on myself? And I know that sounds like a harsh question, but that's really what it is. I really feel like you're quitting and giving yourself a chance at doing something different. So, maybe look yourself in the mirror and just get to the why. And then also make sure, and I will make one more point because we actually have talked about family a lot, and this is a point that I do want to make before we wrap up, is you can't let your why be your reason and your excuse. Okay, so a lot of people will say my family, I do this for my family, but then, well, why haven't you done this trading? Why have you done this? Oh, well, my family, da-da-da. It's okay, so the only thing that really was lacking there was your time management or your organization, but you can't have it be both, right? The same way, solution or problem, one or the other. So although I could have used the excuse, well, I didn't have time to get on, I had to do this with my daughter and all that, it was more well, I should have just taken responsibility for doing better time management and organizing things. So try to make sure that your why remains only your why and not also your excuse.
Definitely. And Domo?
So for me, for people that are thinking about quitting or have quit, I would say this: think about how far you've gone, right? And then think about how long it's going to take you to how far you've gone, and look back at how far you've come, and think back if you turn around, right? Because a lot of people don't, you've come so far. This is your distance that you come so far when it's right there, right? People don't think about how close it actually is. They think I'm going to quit. I don't get it, right? When you've already put in so much time. So that's for anybody quitting, or thinking about quitting, or not sure if you think this is right. I mean, this Forex is one of those 1 in a million things that you can't find anywhere else that's going to pay you forex, or like, I mean, you can trade today and then take your money out today, and you could have made $1 million. You know what I mean? Like, what company or business or job is going to do that for you? I don't know any, right? So, so definitely, like I said, for the people that are thinking about quitting, I would just like I said, I would reevaluate kind of like what's going on, what scared you, or what made you even come up with that thought in your head, and then kind of break it down. Because sometimes what people need to do is take a second, maybe your foot, like she was saying with frustration and stuff. I've gotten frustrated a lot. I only had really one moment that made me want to quit, but other than that, it's just been straight frustration. So what I do, especially it's one of my rules and disciplines when I'm in the market too. If I lose 2 trades in a row, right? I'm frustrated that we took those L's. But what I do is I take back and I reset, right? So that's what a lot of people don't do. They don't it's really a mindset thing. A lot of people think yes, that statement that is said about it being 80% mindset and 20% skill, I really believe in that, because for me, right, it's so important to have the right mindset to be able to handle certain situations that people don't really on a daily basis. Like, you can't have the mindset to you can't be scared of losing $1 but wanting to make $1 million. You know what I mean? So a lot of people miss out on that. So like I said, mindset is truly one of those big things. And for the Facebook, so my Facebook is Dominic Deshaun Fontenot. And then my Instagram is BigDreamer_Domo.
Thank you so much, guys, for those answers and for truly, truly inspiring us and motivating us every single day.
Thank you, y'all. Thank you for having us.
Yes. Thank you so much, guys. This is like a mind-blowing and an amazing, amazing show today. Um, Thank you so much, Ash, for co-hosting me today. You've done a good job. That's
Thank you, Adrian.
amazing.
Thank you for
And
having me.
Domo and Alys, again, I can't thank you enough for being here. And I also wanted to thank you to our listeners and viewers for today, for all the comments and for staying with us today. This show is not really gonna be here if it's not for you guys. So thank you so much. And I just wanna have some quick announcements. So for Never Give Up Foundation, as I mentioned earlier, today is when we are going to be at Toronto downtown here in Canada to give away some toiletries and stuff for our homeless people to share some love as well. We are still looking for some donations and sponsor for our scholars in the Philippines. We send them all the ones that we collected already. And also, guys, I would like to ask you for your support of my page, which is It's Jonalyn in Facebook, and also our page, the It's Jonalyn Show page in Instagram and as well as in YouTube. All the interview that we are doing, like this one right now, it will be recorded, and you guys can share it to your prospect, or you can just keep rewatching it, because this is just such an inspiration. Domo and Alys' story is just amazing that you can just keep listening to it. And also, we're going to have a promotion for the pages that if you would like, you will get a chance to win an AirPod. This is really helpful when you're doing the show, where you're getting. Also, I wrote this book. It's called The Millennials Handbook, and it's also from us, the Never Give Up Planner. So you guys will have a chance. We're giving away a lot of them for those who will like and share all the pages. And also, I would like to thank my assistant and, and my stage manager Darren. The graphic is made by my best friend Rosemary. Again, Kuya Bon, the guy that you guys just met earlier, who's behind the scene, assisting us here today, moderating us. Also, Pinoy Radio and MCBN, and also to our epic family, of course. Thank you guys so much for staying with us. You guys are amazing. And for our listeners and viewers out there, and whoever will be watching this video in the future, as I said, it will be recorded. If you're looking for something amazing that will change your life, like try trading and try Epic, and you can reach out to these two amazing people as well as to myself and Ash, and everything will be great. I'm so excited for everybody, and again, thank you so much, and
Thank
see you
you.
on next month Saturday, and have a good day, guys, and God bless. I love.
While we live in uncertain times, one thing has never been more clear: the need to be financially independent. If you want more out of life, let us show you how to get it. People of all ages are now learning what the banks and other institutions have known for years: how to make money trading in the financial markets. There's over $6 trillion traded each day. Let us show you how to get your piece of that. Epic ushers in a new era of financial education, combined with an unprecedented compensation plan to help you and your family live the life you've always dreamed of. It's time to take your seat at the table. You and your family deserve it. Don't be average. Be epic.
But I would
told
say
you, but I was trying the probability.